The nervous system is designed to detect change, prioritize safety, and prepare the body to respond quickly when something appears important or uncertain. This process becomes highly active during stress because the system increases alertness, attention, and physiological readiness to help the body react more efficiently. Heart rate can increase, breathing may change, muscles become more prepared for movement, and attention narrows toward possible sources of concern. These responses are part of sympathetic activation, a system designed to organize rapid adaptation under demanding conditions. The nervous system does not immediately return to baseline the moment a stressful event ends. Activation can continue because the body is still processing signals connected to vigilance, uncertainty, and readiness. This is why the system can remain highly alert even after the original situation has passed. The nervous system continuously monitors the environment for changes that may require rapid response. When something appears uncertain, unpredictable, or potentially threatening, threat detection systems increase physiological readiness throughout the body. Attention narrows toward possible sources of concern, sensory systems become more vigilant, muscles prepare more strongly for movement, and breathing and heart rate begin shifting resources toward faster reaction capacity. This process is closely connected to survival because the body is preparing for rapid action before complete conscious analysis occurs. The nervous system increases readiness first because responding quickly can be more important than processing every detail slowly. Activation can continue even after the original event ends because the system remains organized around detecting whether additional response may still be needed. The nervous system does not respond only to immediate physical danger. It also reacts to predicted threat, uncertainty, and anticipated negative outcomes. This process is part of predictive survival processing, where the brain continuously compares current information with past experiences, emotional memory, and learned patterns to estimate possible future risk. If something resembles a previously stressful or uncertain situation, the nervous system can begin increasing activation before a direct threat is fully confirmed. Heart rate, muscle tension, breathing patterns, attention, and emotional intensity may begin shifting toward readiness because the system is preparing for possible action. This process improves survival efficiency because waiting for complete certainty could delay response during genuinely dangerous situations. The nervous system therefore prioritizes rapid preparation over perfect accuracy when potential threat appears possible. As activation increases, the nervous system begins narrowing attention toward information that appears most relevant for immediate response. This process is known as attentional narrowing, where cognitive and sensory resources become more heavily focused on possible sources of concern, uncertainty, or threat. The brain reduces emphasis on less urgent information so more resources can support rapid evaluation and reaction. Sensory systems become more vigilant, background scanning increases, and emotionally significant details become easier to notice and harder to ignore. This process improves survival efficiency because focused attention can increase reaction speed during demanding situations. However, prolonged narrowing of attention can also increase mental fatigue, emotional intensity, and difficulty shifting focus away from perceived problems or possible threats. The nervous system does not always return immediately to baseline after a stressful or demanding situation ends. Physiological activation can continue because the body remains organized around readiness for additional response. This process is often described as physiological carryover, where elevated activation persists across systems even after the original trigger has passed. Heart rate may remain elevated, muscles can stay more tense, breathing patterns may remain faster or shallower, and attention can continue scanning for possible change or uncertainty. Stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol also contribute to maintaining heightened readiness across the system. This prolonged activation is adaptive during ongoing danger because it supports continued responsiveness. However, when activation continues for extended periods without sufficient downregulation, the body can remain organized around vigilance rather than recovery. Returning to a calmer physiological state requires active downregulation within the autonomic nervous system. After activation increases, the body must gradually reduce sympathetic arousal and shift resources back toward recovery, regulation, and internal maintenance. This process does not happen instantly because the nervous system is continuously evaluating whether additional response may still be necessary. As long as uncertainty, vigilance, or anticipated threat remain active, the system may delay full downregulation to maintain readiness. Heart rate variability, breathing patterns, muscle tension, attentional focus, and stress hormone activity all participate in this transition between activation and recovery states. When activation remains prolonged, the nervous system can spend less time in restorative states and more time organized around preparation, monitoring, and response readiness. When activation remains prolonged over time, the nervous system can begin adapting to higher levels of physiological readiness as a more familiar baseline state. This process is associated with chronic autonomic activation, where vigilance, muscle tension, attentional scanning, and stress-related physiological activity remain elevated more consistently across daily life. The system becomes increasingly organized around monitoring, prediction, and rapid response because repeated activation reinforces these patterns within autonomic and attentional networks. Over time, this can influence sleep quality, emotional regulation, cognitive flexibility, recovery capacity, and overall mental and physical fatigue. The nervous system is not trying to create exhaustion or distress. It is continuing to prioritize preparation and responsiveness because repeated activation signals that continued readiness may still be necessary. As activation remains elevated, the nervous system begins allocating more attention and processing resources toward information that appears emotionally significant or potentially important for survival. This process is associated with emotional salience amplification, where emotionally charged information becomes easier to notice, stronger in intensity, and more difficult to ignore. Attentional narrowing, heightened vigilance, physiological arousal, and continued prediction of possible threat all contribute to this shift in emotional processing. Smaller frustrations, uncertainty, or emotionally meaningful events may begin producing stronger reactions because the system is already organized around readiness and rapid evaluation. Over time, prolonged activation can increase emotional fatigue, reduce flexibility in attentional control, and make the nervous system more sensitive to emotionally relevant information across daily experiences. The nervous system is designed to increase readiness when the body may need to respond quickly under uncertain or demanding conditions. Sympathetic activation, threat detection, attentional narrowing, physiological carryover, and emotional salience amplification all work together to improve preparation, vigilance, and rapid response capacity. These processes are highly adaptive during short-term danger because they increase the ability to react efficiently when survival may depend on speed and responsiveness. The difficulty appears when activation remains prolonged without sufficient recovery and downregulation. Over time, the system can remain increasingly organized around readiness, monitoring, and rapid evaluation rather than restoration and recovery. Understanding this process changes how prolonged activation is viewed. The nervous system is not malfunctioning. It is continuing to prioritize preparation because the system still interprets ongoing uncertainty and vigilance as potentially important for survival.